Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be showing you a few little bits that I've been picking up from Aliexpress for organisation. So I love to shop on Aliexpress because in New Zealand we do not really have access to Amazon. The shipping prices are just prohibitively expensive to get anything to New Zealand. We also don't have IKEA, so yet we're getting IKEA next year. Hopefully, even though I have been to IKEA in other countries. I have been in Australia and Taiwan. We just don't have that yet, so sometimes I bring things over from IKEA, which I love. And so one of the only options for us to get organizational products that are either cheap or just don't exist in New Zealand, and I don't really want to shop with Temu because, I don't know, it just feels a little bit too cheap. Like, if I'm not paying the cost for that product, someone else out there is paying the cost for that product in another way, and that doesn't sit well with me. Whereas AliExpress, generally the product just feels like a wholesale price, and I feel a lot less bad about that. So I picked up a few things that I wanted to show you guys for organization and just other cute little things that I've picked up, because it's very rare that you actually see people talking about AliExpress products. I think, like, I see lots of people talking about Temu, lots of people talking about Amazon things like Amazon Finds. So this is intended to be a little video like that. So one of the first products I wanted to talk about are these reusable nail oil pens, or just reusable pens. So I have mine filled with nail oil at the moment, and you get 5 of them. The goal was to put enough nail oil into the pens and then just scatter them everywhere so that I would remember to do it. Because my fingernails, as I'm aging, have not been aging well with me. And they're just super ratty looking, like really bad hangnails. I don't know why, they just, I don't know, it gives me the ick for my own fingers, which I really don't like. And so these came in this beautiful pink color. They weren't super cheap, reasonable priced, and you just, yeah, it's really easy to use them to fill them up. They come in 3 pieces. You fill up the little vial, which is not, I think it's like 5 mils or something like that, and you pop the little cap on, and I chose the one that has these little brushes, so they look a little bit like this, and then it goes on the end, super easy, and then you have your product. I will say though that the oil doesn't come out very well from these. You tend to turn it a lot at the end, and then it'll come out in like one really massive droplet. So they're not perfect, but they're cute and they're mostly functional. I think that if you had like a bit of a thicker liquid going through, like a liquid lipstick, it would probably work better, but I think it is what it is. I filled up 3 of them with my nail oil and I really enjoy them. They don't leak either, which is really good. I was actually more worried about the leaking. So I just turn it onto my hand and then go from there. And so it works really well. The next thing that I picked up are these headband holders. So I was really struggling to find a way to store these headbands because I have very limited space. So this is the space that I've got for jewelry and accessories. And they just weren't really fitting here. There are too many of them for starters. So I tried a few things. Please ignore the tape on the top here. I know it's so ugly. I tried to hang like a little like piece of ribbon from side to side to just pop the headbands on, but they just always fell off. And I couldn't find anything in New Zealand apart from one that was like a store one, and it was kind of like a really long one. But again, that wouldn't fit. So these come in a pack of 2, and I've actually just put them on with little command strips because, oh okay, don't focus in, like that, because I wasn't sure if they were going to work well for me. So they're just like temporarily on it. Like, that one is so wonky, please just, you know, leave it alone. But they do come with two ways to hang. They have like one big square adhesive, or they come with a screw, so you can actually screw them into something, but I didn't want them permanently there, so I went with command hooks because I knew I could take them off. And yeah, so I just hung one a little bit higher for those ones and then a little bit lower so that it looks a little bit more pretty. But I thought that it was a really good solution. Yes, I don't love that I can't really close this, but I never really close it anyway. And if I wanted to, I could swap those ones around. I don't want to. So that's what we got. But I really think that they're quite cute and they're not really ugly, which is really good. Like, I kind of like that they're a bit more see-through. I always like to store my keys outside of like the garage, but because I'm in a rental, you can't stick anything to the walls. So these little shelving units are my own. They don't belong to the house, so I can stick things to them. So I picked up these little heart hooks, and I was a little bit worried about how they would look and how big they are, but they actually look really, really cute. So they're just hanging up with my keys at the moment. And if you're wondering what these are orbit keys. And they make it so that you don't have to stick your fingernails in between to get your keys off, which I love. And they have like a little organizer as well. So that just holds all of my school keys like that. The little heart hooks, they do come a little bit funny looking to start with, but you can just squish them up a little bit like this so that they actually hang properly. Like this middle part is bendable. Just don't bend it too much, otherwise it might actually fall off. And they just have a little adhesive back. So these ones came in a set of 4, and if I had more sets of keys, I would just obviously hang more of them, but I don't have anything to hang at the moment, so I've just left it as 1, and I have the other 3 hanging out waiting for something else. The next little thing is this blue metronome. Please excuse the Easter eggs for the kids. They're not part of this. But this is, yeah, it's a metronome. It helps us to keep the time. And it comes in this really beautiful blue. It's a little bit more of a bright blue than I thought it would be normally. It is a little bit washed out on the camera, but it is, yeah, just a little bit more bright than I thought. But it does keep the time well, and even though I don't agree, if you're a musician, you might know about these markings, I don't particularly agree with where they have set each of their markings. I think they're a little bit off. I'm just going with the basic numbers down the side rather than the actual Italian terminology, because for me, I don't think Allegro is supposed to be 132. I think Allegro is a little bit slower than that, but that's my personal preference. But the numbers are what you really need. If you haven't used a metronome before, it's going to go side to side and make the most awful dinging noise. It's not there to be pretty sounding, it's there to help you play in time. So if you want to know what it sounds like, that's what it does. And you slide this to make it faster or slower, and you can also turn the binging off. So yes, it does have all of the regular features of a professional metronome, but just in a very cute blue color, which I think is really, really adorable. Because if you didn't know, I have a pink piano, so yeah, that works well. For music, I also picked up this, which is supposed to be a bookmark to hold the music sheets open, but it doesn't work. This one is not a go. It just kind of is so lightweight. It's so thin. It just slides off. It doesn't hold the big books open. It does hold the little books open if you're just wanting like 1 or 2 pages to stay in the same place. So if I just have like a little book, you can kind of use it. You have to go like this, pop it in, and it will hold the book open and flat. Which is good, so if it was a little bit windy, but as soon as you kind of move, like try to close the book, it just closes immediately. So it doesn't really work. You can do it this way as well, so like 1 in the front, 1 in the back sort of deal, but again, it doesn't work all that well, and if you have like a really strong wind, it just kind of moves it around like this, but it does hold tighter. It just doesn't hold a big book this way because it's so thin, it only really works with small books. So I'm going to give this like a half of a fail. It's really cute. The gold color is really pretty. But yeah, it doesn't work that well. Most of the other stuff that I pick up is actually craft stuff, so not really for this video, but if you're interested, let me know. It's where I get a lot of the things like the paper clips and the pretty colors, as well as things like little alligator clips, or the little lobster claws as well. So these all come from Aliexpress as well, so we can buy them in bulk, because otherwise, again, in New Zealand, it's just prohibitively expensive, like ridiculous. So yeah, that's where I get a lot of that sort of crafty stuff from too. I actually forgot that I went through a little heart phase as well. So I got these heart Bandaids. They are like literally just Band-Aids, but they are in the shape of little red hearts, which is adorable. I don't use Band-Aids that often, so they haven't actually been that helpful, but really, really, really cute, and like a good size as well. not tiny. I also picked up some heart like gauze wrap. So it's the sticky gauze wrap that sticks to itself. So if you have to stick like a gauze pad down, you can bind that on top and it will just stick to itself, which is actually really helpful to have in the first aid kit. But I don't think it's that good because when you wrap it tightly, it doesn't actually stick to itself that well. So like it pops off. So it'll stick to itself if you wrap it like gently, but if you put any tension on it, it doesn't. But I guess like if I was using it in an emergency, which is what I would be using it for, it's better than nothing, and it is cute and pink. So I guess if you bleed on it, then it won't be so bad. I also got some heart-shaped pimple patches, and you can see I've actually used a few of them already. These are okay. I wouldn't say that they do that much, but they do stop the pimples from weeping, which is really gross to think about. But I don't think that they work as well. I've got Next Care patches, and the Next Care patches are really, really good. And so these ones just don't live up, but they are really cute, and they were quite cheap in comparison. And I got this heart-shaped toothpaste key, or like, what do you call them? Like cosmetics keys. They go on the end of toothpastes, and you're able to use the key to roll it up so that you can get more toothpaste out, basically. So you use the key. This one, like you can see, does not actually work all that well because it's very short. Like it's half of the size of the toothpaste tube, and it's not very tight. It should kind of be a little bit more firm here. So I really struggle to use this to roll anything up. I'm going to be completely honest, it does not work that well, but it is really cute. And if you can get it in like the right place, you can kind of get it to work. But yeah, it just kind of unrolls. But if you can get it to go past like the very first roll, like if you can tuck it under, oh my gosh, you know, I cannot get it to go anywhere past this one today. So it does work badly. So it's really cute, but this is probably not one of the ones I'd recommend. It's just too short this way, I think. Either that or I'm using it really wrong. If I'm using it really wrong, please let me know, because it's really cute, like adorable. But yeah, either I'm bad at using it or they're just not very good. I know that it's not all that much because I do try to buy local where it is possible. And yes, I did put my glasses back on, and now that I've put them on once, I can't take them back off again because it just feels so much more blind when I do. But if you were looking for a few of those little things, then I hope that helped with some reviews. I'll try to leave the links for everything specifically down in the bio as well, because on AliExpress you can just find so many listings of the same thing. So it's good to know which ones I actually purchased. But I do this quite often. When I find a little need, I will buy an item. Usually I don't buy like a billion different things all at the same time because I feel like it's so unnecessary. And things like, there are a lot of things in my house that I would love to replace with cuter colored things, but it's not necessary. They still work, so I wait for them to break and then replace them with something that's either a better quality or a better color or something like that. But if you guys enjoy, I can always save them up for one video and show you guys all of the random stuff that I buy that just happens to be really cute or really practical, or hopefully both. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.